The 25th Mass. I was assigned to survey an old abandoned church near the border between Vietnam and Cambodia. The church sat atop a mist-covered hill that was clouded year-round. It had once belonged to a small Catholic diocese built by French missionaries in the early 20th century. After 1975, it was sealed off. No one had returned. No masses had been held since. Yet the records in the archdiocese still noted this chilling entry. Every year, on the night of December 25th, the final Mass is held here. I didn't believe it, but my curiosity outweighed my doubt. My survey team consisted of just me and a local named Nine, driver, interpreter, and guard. We arrived in the late afternoon of December 24th. The church emerged from the gray mist like a sleeping giant. Stone walls, leaning bell tower, half-broken crucifix, and rotting wooden doors. At the base of the stone steps, a bronze plaque bore faint Latin letters. Ultima Missa, Nemo Recedit. Nin whispered, "The final Mass. No one leaves." I chuckled nervously and stepped forward. The air inside was cold, colder than the fog outside. Stained glass windows shattered long ago. Dust hung in the air like velvet. But on the altar, a Bible lay open. The pages were pristine, dustless, clear. A single candle stood lit in a silver holder. I asked Nin if he had brought candles. He shook his head. We pitched our tent just inside the entrance. I prepared my camera, voice recorder, and notes. Night fell quickly, and the fog thickened until we couldn't see 10 feet ahead. Around 10 p.m., I heard the bell. The church bell, rusted, long silent, no rope to pull it, but it rang once, then again, deep, slow, and clear. Nin jumped to his feet, trembling. "It's starting," he said. "We need to go." I asked, "What's starting?" He didn't answer. He was looking toward the altar. Someone was standing there. I couldn't see his face. A figure in a long black robe, holding a book, head bowed. The air grew thick, the silence loud. I stood, but my legs were numb. The figure lifted its head. Its face had no eyes. 2 empty sockets, ringed with dry blood. Its mouth opened, moving silently, but I heard it clearly inside my skull. "This is the 25th Mass. All who enter are written in the book." Then a second figure stepped out from the side door. Then a third, a fourth, 12 in total, dressed in liturgical robes, all without faces. I turned to Nin. He was gone. I rushed to the exit. It was sealed. I screamed, beat on the door. But the fog had pressed in from all sides. Behind me, the bell rang again. They approached. One handed me the book. My name was on the last page. In red ink, "Shh! Final witness. Recorded. Mass begins." They forced me to read the opening rites. I refused. They didn't speak, but I heard them in my head. "You have seen. You must not forget. You cannot leave. You must record the Mass." They bound me to the pew. With each toll of the bell, one of the faceless priests faded into shadow, until only I remained. The book lay open on the altar. The candle still burned. I don't know how long I sat there. The next morning, rescuers found me collapsed across the altar. I was alone. No sign of Nin. No footprints but mine. But inside my backpack was a notebook filled with detailed accounts of 24 previous Masses, none written in my handwriting. The final page was blank, except for one line. Night 25, the last witness hasn't finished. Room number 8. I never really remembered where I grew up. All memories of my childhood were blank until I was 13, when I suddenly appeared in the registry of an orphanage in Lam Dong. No paperwork. No guardian. The person who logged me into their records was a staff member who had supposedly retired 7 years earlier and who died the same month I was admitted. I didn't dwell on it much as I grew older. But one thing always left a knot in my chest. I never dared go near room number 8 in the orphanage dormitory. The dorm had 10 rooms. I stayed in room 2 near the front entrance. Each room had a wooden number plate. Except room 8. Its number was carved directly into the wall, no windows, and the door always remained locked. When I asked the old caretaker, Miss Dung, she simply said, "That room's not used." But every night at exactly 3 a.m., I would hear a door creak open from inside. And then footsteps, uneven, dragging, like someone walking with only one leg and dragging the other. When I turned 21, the orphanage shut down due to disrepair. I moved to the city for college, then work. But since I moved out, the nightmares began. I dreamt I was back at the orphanage. All the rooms were dark. I held a key, blackened bronze, heavy and ice cold. It pulled me from door to door until I stood before room 8. I unlocked it. Inside, there was nothing but a small iron-framed bed and a crooked mirror hanging on the wall. In that mirror, I saw a child sitting with their back to me, facing the corner. Each time I moved closer, they turned slightly, and revealing parts of their face, until I realized it was me. But the reflection looked older, sharper, and it was smiling. I woke up drenched in cold sweat. I had to go back. The orphanage had been abandoned for nearly a decade. Overgrown vines and moss covered the walls, but the old sign, Sunlight Home of Hope, still swung in the wind. I climbed the rusted gate and retraced the path I knew by heart. I stood in front of room 8. The lock was rusted, but intact. I brought a flashlight, camera, and a replica of the key, retrieved from an old city archive I wasn't supposed to access. I didn't know why I kept it, only that I needed to return. I unlocked the door. Inside was pristine, no dust, as if someone had cleaned it every day. The mirror was still there. I stepped in. The door shut behind me. I turned to the mirror. My reflection wasn't current. Not my clothes. Not my hair. It was me at age 13. The reflection spoke. You shouldn't have left. I stayed here, waiting for you to continue. I tried to flee. The door wouldn't budge. I banged on it, screamed. But all I heard was my own voice bouncing back. My flashlight flickered, then died. The mirror began to crack. Through the web of fractures, I saw not a wall, but 10 rooms, each with a version of me inside. One sleeping, one strangling someone, one laughing like a lunatic, and one standing on the other side of the mirror, hand pressed exactly where mine was, perfectly aligned. Then I understood. I never left the orphanage. Room number 8 hadn't been locked from the outside. It had been locked from within.